Tonight's game?
Yeah, it was a battle. It was certainly a very difficult game to play. I thought we got a little bit better as the game went along, but they gave us all we could handle. They're a very good hockey team. They're well coached, and it was a real battle getting sustained pressure. And I thought we did that in the third. We managed to be in the offensive zone a little bit more, and good thing happened because of it.
Questions at this time for the players? Andy up front.
Andy Merritt, William Hockey Journal. Scott, we talk about character wins. Does that kind of feel like that was a character win tonight that you guys had to come back and sort of get it together later in the game?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously started off a little slow, but all year long we've been working back in games. So that's definitely a huge win for us. But you know, it's over now. We're just looking forward to tomorrow.
Scott in front.
Scott, in the game winner, Gilmore was on you pretty well there, and it seemed like you managed to pull away from him to get good woods in the shot, and maybe describe it for us.
Yeah, I mean, we've been working on transition all year long out of the neutral zone, so I knew once I gave it to Wetsy, I was going to be getting a nice pass back, so it kind of went under his stick, and I was just able to get enough on it that it went past him.
More questions from the players? On the end here.
Dave Pavere from Lowell Sun. Connor, could you just kind of take us through that last minute 30? It seemed like there were about 40 face-offs on your end, and with about a minute 20 left, you have to kind of take a save of the guy and all that stuff. Kind of take us through that last sequence there.
Yeah, there was a lot of face-offs at the end, but I would say it was just a hectic battle that our guys really paid attention to. We had everyone buying in, everyone was blocking shots, and I think that's what helped us in that last minute.
Dave in front.
Dave Hendrickson, U.S. College Hockey Online. This for Scott. You're kind of modest when you're talking about just you got to stick on that shot, but it looked like that was really a goal scorer's goal. You one-time it through the defenseman's leg. It looked like the kind of play that really the average player can barely get a stick on. Can you just elaborate a little bit on how maybe difficult that was, and maybe put some of the modesty aside?
I mean, one of the biggest things for me coming into college was I needed to get pucks off faster. So I've been working the past 2 years with the coaches, just kind of no matter what spot I'm on the ice, just kind of getting it off. But Wetsy threw it kind of under his stick, and I knew that Gilmore's legs was kind of open. So you know, I wasn't really picking a quarter, to be honest, but I just tried to get on that, and I think it went just over his pad there on the right side.
Julie.
Julie Robenhammer, Hockey Buzz. I guess for Scott, can you tell us maybe what the mood or what was said in the locker room after the first period that made you guys come out in the second and really take it to them?
Yeah, obviously, you know, they got the first one. Going into the game, we really wanted to get the first one, but Wetsy, you know, and the coaches have done a great job just keeping us positive on the bench all year long. And we've come back from a goal before in a couple games this year, so you know, we weren't really stressed out too much. You know, we really just wanted to get back to our game and have good habits, so it came through for us.
Any final questions from the players? Scott in front.
Scott McLaughlin, College Hockey News. Scott, you haven't played with Riley Wetmore as much this year as you did last year, but does that chemistry, when you're out there in a situation like that, does that come back right away? Is there anything that maybe is missing when you're not playing with them as much?
You mean, I play with him on the power play, so I mean, that helps a lot, so I'm with him out in practice sometimes, but we've really had a balanced lineup all year. All the guys have been playing great, so it's kind of, the chemistry is between, you know, all 12 guys. It's not necessarily just 3 guys, but you know, I know what he can do, so when I'm out there, I just try and skate open for him.
One final question for the players. Andy.
Connor, this was your first chance to get a game in you know, this stage, in this arena, with this kind of crowd. Did it take a little while to get used to it? Did you feel like you were ready to go right when the puck arrived?
Well, Coach gave us a moment when we first got here yesterday to just kind of look around and soak it all in, but after that we put that behind us and we were in the game to play. So we were used to it. I mean, we also had practice on the ice and we got used to everything real fast. That's the thing that helped us.
Thank you, guys. You can head back to the locker room. More questions at this time for Coach. Rich in the front.
Rich Thompson, Boston Herald. Could you just follow up on what Scott commented on working on transition, because both those goals work.
Yeah, it's been an emphasis really since Christmas that we didn't feel we were scoring enough goals 5-on-5, and the transition a big piece of that. So fortunately for us, we were able to transition a little quicker, and it's part of the how we solve things today. I didn't think we were penetrating or sustaining any pressure in the first period and a half. And as the game went along, because of that transition, we were able to maybe have 2 or 3 shifts back-to-back of sustained pressure, and that's a key against a good team.
More questions, Coach, on the end?
Dave Bearable, son, Norm, just general, this group getting to a hockey championship game, I know you still have unfinished business tomorrow, but just, it's not an area that UMass Lowell has been, you were there as a player, but it hasn't reached this point very often.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it hasn't, haven't been around for most of those times, those disappointments perhaps, but it's a good hockey team, they're resilient, they persevere. I like their no-quit attitude, it's been there all year, so it's very rewarding to see the kids that they leave it on the ice regardless, and really, the only thing I ask them between the second and third period is that they leave it on the ice, and I felt if we did that, we'd give ourselves an opportunity and success, and we did. The fans were terrific. I thought that the fans from Lowell, you saw blue shirts all over, but you heard them, and it was a real lift for the club. I think we got contributions from a lot of different people. AJ White scoring his 2nd goal of the year, obviously that's a big, big goal. We can start the 3rd period with an energy boost, goal 4, especially when you're trying to get back into things. So I knew right then and there that we'd have a good opportunity to win the game as soon as they scored that goal, and it was great to see.
On the end, yep.
I mean, you were in this, as a player, I mean, you were in a Hockey East final, you almost went to the Frozen Four. I mean, is it any more rewarding? Is it different as a coach? Is it more rewarding, less rewarding, or it might be awkwardly phrased, but...
Yeah, no, not really. It's just different. I'm so proud for the kids, proud of the kids and happy for them that it's a different feeling. When you're there as a player, I don't think you appreciate as much. When you're coaching and you realize how difficult it is to get into those situations, you try to pass it along to the younger generation and make sure they realize that they can take nothing for granted. Because truthfully, the benefit we have, quite frankly, is that our senior class has never been here to the Garden. So it was a real thrill for them to come to the Garden and play. But somebody's got to win the trophy. Why not us?
Andy in the front.
Norm, you guys had to fight awful hard just to get here throughout the season, the win streaks that got you here, that kind of thing, to dig out of the hole that you had at the start of the year. Does that make this team maybe a little better suited to a game where they have to come from behind, that they've had to fight, they have maybe a little more confidence in that kind of situation?
Yeah, it's possible. I think every team that's here this weekend has built up resiliency because, they fought off quite a few things. This league is ruthless. And you could take the 2 teams that didn't make it into the playoffs and they could give anybody a good game. It's so strong parity-wise. And there's no question in my mind that these kids have built up a certain resiliency to setbacks. So instead of moaning about it, we take it as a challenge and we try to overcome it.
One final question for Norm in front, Dave.
Dave Hendrickson, U.S. College Hockey Online. You mentioned that A.J. White's goal was only his 2nd of the year. On the other side, Rooney's goal was his 1st of the year. It seemed as though the difference was that extra skill that a guy like Scott brings to play on his goal. Can you just talk about kind of Scott's skill in terms of burying shots and being that difference maker for you?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, he's a talented individual. He's somebody who can shoot off the pass, and if you look back on the clip, there's not many guys that shoot off the pass, and he did. And we're certainly excited about his development. I honestly don't think that was his best game by any means. I think our team can play better, and we'll have to tomorrow, because I thought when you start off a little slow, it sometimes doesn't give you an opportunity to success later on in the game. But these are good teams. I give full credit to Providence. They're an excellent hockey team. They're well coached, and and they should be proud of their guys. And sometimes it gets you out of your structure because the other team's playing so well.
Coach, thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow night.